Myself. Hi, I'm Sarah.
Oh,
I am a middle school math teacher. My husband Morris is also here.
Hello.
He's involved in education. He works in school solutions. When school closed, we were both looking for a way to kind of with people, just ways that we can help. We found ourselves like learning so many tips and tricks, and we were like, I'm sure people would benefit from learning these things. And then
super nice.
And I just want to say before, I probably won't speak for a little while, but again, welcome. I see some familiar faces, and I know how much all of you are doing. Some of you are teachers, in addition to being parents, in addition to, doing so many things, and you're learning and you're being asked to learn new software every day and new technology. And I know that it's challenging, but I know that you guys are rising to the occasion, and we're all very proud of you. And that's really what inspires us to want to do more. So keep up all the hard work. You really what's keeping everything together.
So nice.
Okay. All right, we're gonna get started, guys. Welcome. So today we are going to be discussing how to record your own lessons using Loom. We're also going to discuss how you can use EDpuzzle. To get us started, I just want to go over our goals for today. We will stick to time, so we'll run from 8 to 8:30, and then I'll stay on at the end to answer questions. If you have a question throughout, feel free to message me in the chat. And if I don't get to it during the presentation, I'll get to you afterwards. So our goal today is to learn how to use Loom and EDpuzzle to create custom videos with integrated questions. This is great for all of your asynchronous classes. So think more sending your kids a video when you're not live with the kids, ways to help them, give them instruction or give them lessons. We're going to start with a clip from a sample lesson so you guys can see what it's going to look like when you create your own lessons. We'll then go through the steps of how to do that. So how to download Loom, how to then record your own lesson, how to use the whiteboard feature, how to edit and export your video, how to integrate the questions, and how to assign your lesson and deal with accountability with all this. Okay, so those are the goals for today, and we'll go through these one at a time. So to get started, I'm going to send you all a link to the sample quiz. So I want you to just, I'll stay quiet for a few minutes. I want you guys to practice, just see what it looks like. Click on the link. And this is what we're going to try learning how to do. Hold on, let me just share it with you guys. Give me a second. Here we go. And I just put the link in the chat. Okay, so just click on that link. Work on that.
The link's not working for me. Is it working for everyone else?
So if it's not working, try pasting it into Google Chrome instead of Safari. I find that sometimes that helps.
Yeah, I think it's just not working when she clicks on it. You have to copy and paste it into your browser.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our virtual PD on recording your own lessons using Loom and EDpuzzle. Just give me a thumbs up, guys, when you finish. You can give me a virtual thumbs up. Thumbs up if you guys are ready. If you watch that link, answer those questions. No judgment. Nice, Paul. Everyone knows about the virtual thumbs up. Very helpful when you're teaching. Okay, let's regroup. So what I did there is what the goal is for today. Okay, the goal is for you guys to be able to create your own videos like that to share with your students. As you can see, it's really fun because instead of just watching a video and just praying and hoping your students watch it, you actually have a way to track them to make sure they're watching it. It has great features like you can prevent the students from fast forwarding. It collects data for you. And it's just honestly one of the greatest tools when it comes to digital classroom. So let's go into how we do something like this. Is everybody following with me? Yes, we're leaving the video behind, even if they're in the middle. And let's just draw our attention back to my shared screen. So the first thing you're gonna need to do is you're going to need to download Loom to your computer. You can just go into Google. You're gonna type in Loom and you are going to download it. It's just an application. You are going to download it to your computer. Having Loom on your computer is honestly one of the greatest things. I find myself, I have like fellow teachers asking me questions or like siblings asking me questions. And I find myself just opening up Loom and sending them a quick video. That's how easy it is. So the first step is you need to download Loom. So just go onto Loom, you'll hit download for Mac or download for PC, and you will download it to your computer. Now, the next thing you're going to do is once you have Loom, you can start recording. So I actually have a few options here written out. So what you see on the far left, here, I'll actually annotate it. What you see on the far left are the different options that you can record. So in the EDpuzzle that I made, you saw I had my screen recorded and I also had like that small circle of my face. Personally, that's the way I like to do it. If you wanted to, maybe if you were talking to younger kids and you just wanted them to see your face, you can just record the cam. And maybe if you didn't want to see your face, you're not looking your best that day for whatever reason, you can just record the screen. So it has all three of those options and it's really easy to kind of decide between the three. And you can record your whole screen or just a specific thing on the screen. The next thing you can do with Loom is you will share it. Okay, so the great thing about Loom is that when you record a video, it normally needs to be saved onto your computer. So is anybody having storage issues with all of this? You can just give me like a nod or a thumbs up. I think we all are. Like my computer's busting. It does not have room to store these videos. So the great thing about Loom is that after you have these recordings, so you can even record like a 40-minute video, it will host it for you. So it's not taking up storage on your computer, okay? It's living on Loom, the website, okay? And you can access it from there. If you need to download it, you can download it. If not, it's there. It's not messing with your storage space. So that's why I know people use other things, but that's why I think Loom is really a great option. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is using Whiteboard while you're teaching. So let's just do by raise of hand or something like that. Do you guys use the Whiteboard that's in Zoom? Do you What have people been doing for whiteboards? Do you know what the whiteboard is? Yeah, do you use the one in Zoom, most of you? No, what do you guys use? Doc camera, okay. Yeah, a lot of Google School accounts do have unlimited storage, that's true. If you have that, that's great. Educations, yeah. So you guys are giving me all great examples of whiteboards. I happen to have found Miro, which is just another free whiteboard tool. If you are looking to try out a new whiteboard, I would definitely give it a shot. Some of the features that I really loved is it had like a post-it option where you could put a little post-it and type something. And it allowed you to kind of send things to the back and pull them forward. So it basically had a million tools that I didn't find on a lot of the basic whiteboards. And I don't think you'll ever probably use all the tools, but the few that I found myself using, I really enjoyed. So if you're looking for a new whiteboard, definitely check out Miro. It was a lot of fun. And what you can do is while you are recording your lesson, for example, you see here, I pulled up my volume and surface area view. I have my Miro whiteboard open and I'm able to write all over the document. Okay, so the students can watch me solve a problem. It's not just my voice, it's also the physical writing. Okay, so that's another tool that you'll use while you're recording. So you have your lesson, you open up your worksheet, right? We have my whiteboard option. We turn Loom on, we're recording the lesson. Now what do? We need to get the lesson from Loom, okay, to EDpuzzle. Now, if you wanted to stop at that point and just have your Loom, great, you have your recording, you can send it to anybody with a link. Very straightforward. Okay, so you can stop at this point if you'd like. If you want to build on it, what you have to do is you have to download the video and then upload it onto EDpuzzle. So what, I froze, let me give it a minute. Better, guys? Am I still frozen? Mars, am I frozen?
Sure if they watch it or if they use it. But EDpuzzle allows you to take a video, either a random video from YouTube that you found that you find really helpful, or a video that you created on. It does not let the students fast forward. They have to watch the whole thing and they have to answer every single question. So you could add like checks for understanding at different points in your video so that, and then you can track using that tool, using EDpuzzle, you can see that your students, which students watched it, which students didn't, which answers they got right, which answers they got wrong. So that's a really, you know, you don't get to do that. Even when you give lectures live over Zoom, like I lecture over Zoom, I see some students are kind of not focusing, they're on their phones or they're, you know, just kind of in and out. You don't know how much they're paying attention, but this way, if you have your lecture on Loom and then you add it to EDpuzzle and you add questions along the way, you know that the student watched it, every single one. You know that they answered questions along the way and that they understood it. And you can track all of that from the EDpuzzle dashboard. You can see all the students that watched it and did it, what answers to questions they got right and wrong. And it integrates crazy well with Google Classroom. Like if you use Google Classroom, you could import your rosters, you could assign videos directly to Google Classroom. Like EDpuzzle makes it super, super easy. So Loom is just the video part where you like can record yourself, like giving the lecture part of your talk. And then if you import that video into EDpuzzle, you could add those questions and assign it to Google Classroom.
Another advantage of using a Loom EDpuzzle combination is that in the event that your internet goes down, like present moment,
Like so.
you don't need to have a third teacher in the room to carry us, but I'm glad they're to take over. Thank you, Esther.
Literally. Things like this, I don't know, they happen to me more often than I would like. So,
Thank you.
or you guys have.
Okay, Sarah, we just answered some questions, but I think you can, unless anyone has any other questions, you could go ahead and show everyone how to upload a video.
I have a quick question, if possible. There's like a Premier Loom and the standard Loom. Does it cost money for the Premier? Do you suggest the Premier?
I'm using standard and I'm having no problems whatsoever.
Okay, great.
I have not run into any issues yet, and I've been using it for a few weeks and I haven't needed to upgrade. So I would say stick with the standard.
Thanks.
Okay. Welcome back, guys. Okay, so exporting lessons. We have our video in Loom and we need to get it onto EDpuzzle. You download it to your computer, you go onto EDpuzzle, you make an account. Now EDpuzzle is not glitchy, really not so bad, just a little bit. I think especially with the overwhelming amount of people using it these days. So I always suggest that you use Google Chrome when using EDpuzzle. If students ever have an issue, that's the solution. Just make sure they're using Google Chrome. You're going to make yourself an EDpuzzle account. There's a lot of free upgrades that schools are having because of the situation. So definitely reach out to your school or just fill out the form. I'm sure you can upgrade. And you're going to export your lesson onto EDpuzzle. Okay. Once you are on EDpuzzle, so you go to upload a video, you drag in the video, and your video is now on EDpuzzle. Okay. While you are on EDpuzzle, what you do is, first of all, you can cut your video. So sometimes I know at the beginning of my video, I like fix my hair, I get myself ready. You can cut that out very easily on EDpuzzle. Sometimes I make mistakes when I'm teaching. I'll like say the wrong word, or I'll like need to correct myself. You can do a voiceover, which is this middle feature over here. I find it helpful. Like, you know, sometimes you're like, oh, I said the wrong word. Like, you can just literally swap it out. And then you can add questions, which is what you guys saw in that practice quiz that you took. The 3 types of questions you can add are multiple choice, open-ended, and a note. Okay, a note is like when it stopped the video and you just had to hit OK. An open-ended question is where you have to type in the answer, and a multiple choice will be automatically graded, which is awesome. Let's keep going. Okay, why EDpuzzle? I really cannot say enough good things about EDpuzzle. It is so easy to track your students' progress. The students cannot fast forward. There's a feature that won't let them fast forward. LMS integrations, there are ways to integrate into Canvas, into Seesaw, into tons of different options. Google Classroom literally integrates seamlessly. I also think that you really are able to gain so much insight on what your students are actually doing during your class, as opposed to if you were just lecturing and you're kind of just looking at their faces like on a blurry screen, wondering like, are they actually listening to me? This is a great way to know, yes, they're listening to you. Yes, they're processing what you're saying. Yes, they're applying it. Cannot say enough good things. Once you finish with your lesson, you can assign it to a class. Now, the way that I shared the lesson with you just now is I sent it as a public link. So you'll notice that you were able to fast forward and that your data was not being tracked. Like, I can't see your answers right now. So if you want to be able to actually see what your students are doing, you're going to assign it to a specific class. So you see here are my classes. I can assign it to a class on Google Classroom and it'll pop up as an assignment. I can set a deadline. And I have the prevent skipping feature turned on. Okay, and I would probably turn on the post on Google Classroom feature if I was using that. All right, so super, super easy to share. And the last thing we need to discuss is accountability. So I took a screenshot over here. This is actually one of my students, the data that's collected from one of my students on their assignment. So what you can see is I can see what their grade was. They got a 70. They watched 100% of the video. So they got 7 out of 10 questions right. They spent 21 minutes doing this and they turned it in on time. I can see which specific questions they got right and wrong. I can also see their answers. I can also see how many times the students watched each section of the video. I find this really helpful. Sometimes I'll see a student rewatch something 2 or even 3 times, and that tells me that that student's really working, right? They got to a question, they didn't know what to do, they went back, they rewatched the video. Okay, so that again is really, really, really helpful for insight. And something I do want to mention when it comes to, let me just stop my share. Something I do want to mention when it comes to creating lessons like this is the goal is to create these lessons to be given as classwork. If you're doing a flipped classroom, you can use this for homework if you're allowed to give homework. You can do this for reviews before tests or reviews of new concepts. You can also do it for tutorials and instruction. So the possibilities are really endless. You can use this so many different ways. And once you get started with making these videos, it will change the way you teach. It will help you. It will help your students. It will save you time. Even though they take time to make, in the end, it will save you time. And I really think that everyone will enjoy them. Okay. What we're going to do, I don't know if you guys keep up with the emails, is we've been creating courses for all of these PDs. Nicole, do you want to talk a little bit about what the courses are like?
And mute. Yeah, so what we did was we created a course that basically walks you through everything that Sarah just explained in a really step-by-step way. So I know that this was a lot today. There's 3 different tools that we went over. Getting used to Loom, some kind of online whiteboard like Miro, and EDpuzzle is kind of a lot to take in like a 30-minute session. So what we've done is created something that you can go through at your own pace that basically includes screen recordings, some knowledge checks, and it basically walks you through like exactly what Sarah went over, just in more detail, and you can go at your own pace. So maybe if you just want to get through the Loom part, get yourself set up with Loom. It really goes even into like how to download it, what buttons to click. I mean, literally step by step how I went through it and did every single step from the beginning. So when we're saying, you know, download Loom, that might be more complicated for some people than others. So I've gone through it with minute detail. So we'll definitely walk you through everything if you take the time to do the course. But Sarah did an amazing job explaining sort of how this works and how these tools are really useful. So if you don't, or if you're not interested in completing the course, of course, that's completely up to you. But if you want more information and really just like a step-by-step tutorial on how all of these things work and how to get set up with all of them, we would definitely recommend doing the course. So we'll be sending out a link either today or tomorrow. I'm not sure when we're sending out that information to you guys, but we'll get it to you as soon as possible. And even if you just start the course, like the Loom part is what's confusing to you, then you can just do the Loom part, and you know that could be that. But we'll be sending that to you guys as soon as possible, and you can take your time and go through it. It really is like step-by-step tutorial, videos, questions to make sure you know what's going on and that you're getting all the concepts, you know, the way that they're supposed to be answered and all that. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. And it's definitely more information on these things that we went over today. So yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No, that's okay.
Just a quick note on these tools separately. I know that Sarah showed this really good workflow of like recording yourself, importing them into EDpuzzle, importing your videos into EDpuzzle, and then sharing the EDpuzzle. And that's a really, really useful way of assigning lectures to your students. But I just want you to be aware that they're also 2 separate tools. I tend to use Loom and screen recordings for everything. I record myself all the time because my students just ask the same questions over and over again, as I'm sure everyone's do. So especially when you're demonstrating some process, just creating a video and sharing it with them so that when they ask you again, you get 1,000 emails saying, please refer to the video, just saves you a ton of time. So just using that on its own is really useful. And then EDpuzzle, I find myself using really often when I find YouTube content that's really great. Like so many people have created really amazing videos that you can assign for review or to introduce a new topic. It doesn't necessarily need to be yours. And they also, EDpuzzle as a tool itself also has these pre-created quizzes that other teachers made. I teach computer science. There are some really cool videos on computer science with questions pre-populated because somebody else made it. So you might find really great content on EDpuzzle to use, or you might want to use a video that somebody else created for a totally different reason, and you might want to use Loom on its own as well. But together is a really great way of making sure that your students are engaged through your lectures. So that's a great way to use Loom and EDpuzzle together, but they're both very, very useful on their own as well.
Last thing I want to add, which that was great, Esther, is we want to be here for you guys as best that we can, which I think you guys could see. We're going to be having PDs every other Monday night. So not this Monday night. We have one the following Monday night. What's that one on?
Building portfolios and alternative assessments other than quizzes.
Building portfolios and alternative assessments. And we also want to help in your particular school. So first of all, if there's any other teachers that you know that could use this, feel free to invite them. We would love that. And also, we would even be willing to go into your school and run a professional development special for your school on any topic that your principal needs help with. So in any case where you could think of someone that you would want to introduce us to, we'd be happy to do that. We're really just trying to make as big of an impact in these next few months as we possibly can.
Okay, any questions? We can open the floor up to questions. You can just call them out or message them in the chat.
I have a question. Is EDpuzzle instead of Google Classroom, or is it combined? Can you combine them, or can you use one or the other?
So you're using EDpuzzle to create the assignment, and then you're sharing the assignment on Google Classroom.
Right, thank you.
Okay, Ruthie, question?
Yeah, 2 questions. Can they play the video quicker, at a quicker playback on EDpuzzle?
I don't think so.
No, right?
So you can do that with Loom. Like if you just have a Loom video, you can play it at like double speed or 1.5 speed, but on EDpuzzle, I don't think you can, no.
Gotcha. And is there, like, I've been using Screencast-O-Matic. Did you ever use that and compare it to Loom?
I used, Mars, what do you have?
ScreenFlow.
ScreenFlow. I just like Loom because it just like hosts all my videos in one spot that's not on my computer.
And you don't have to, right, you don't have to save it to your computer. It goes to like the Loom site.
Website, exactly.
Right.
So, like
Okay.
to me, like I'm just out of storage. So that was like the big factor for me where I was like, ooh, okay, like that's really easy. I'm going to stick with that. I also like
that
the little
cute,
window.
yeah, the cute little circle. That's like my favorite part about Loom too.
Yeah.
And do they limit you to 15 minutes the way Screencast-O-Matic does, or it could be as long as you want it to be?
I found like a 25-minute video the other day.
Oh, not bad.
I don't think they're limited.
Yeah, there's no limit that I know of yet, but I don't think so.
Great. Thank you.
I'm
yeah.
sure your data is limited, like what you can store on the site, but I don't think the video is limited, you know, without buying more space.
Gita? Wait, unmute yourself.
They can't access Google Classroom because they don't have internet at home, but I can email it to them and then later they can go to work and get their whatever. Anyways, the point is, can I do that with Loom without downloading it onto my computer? Can you send it from Loom to emails?
I missed the beginning because you were muted. Can you send a Loom to a student just like a link to their emails, you're asking?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or do you have to download it on your computer to do that? No? Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just once you record the video, it'll just give you a shareable link, and you can just email that shareable link, and anyone with the link can view.
Great, thank you.
Comment, I think, with like emojis, or it's fun sometimes if you want to do things like that.
Great.
William?
So, hi, Miro, it's your whiteboard, right? So is there any way you can get like a problem assignment put onto the whiteboard, or do you have to write it out on Miro? You know, you have to type out all the questions
Good question.
onto the whiteboard.
So there's an upload button on Miro where
cool.
you can upload. That's why I like it. You
Okay.
teach math, you said, right? Or computer science?
Yep.
Yeah, so you can you don't have to like reformat all your problems, just save them as a PDF, and then just upload it there, and then you can just write over it.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then the other question is, if you grab a video from, say, off the web, like for instance, like YouTube,
Okay.
and then you, can you upload that video into EDpuzzle and then put in questions on that?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's an amazing feature. Like recording yourself is great, but sometimes you just, you know, the internet has such great resources. And if you find a video that works for you, which a lot of the time we do, or if you find a clip from a movie or an experiment, you can just take it, upload it right into EDpuzzle, and then post your questions and your notes straight onto that video. Okay. So that's another great feature, and that will save you a lot of time also. Do we have other questions?
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for doing this, you know, whoever organizes, because it's coming at the right time. So I understood the role of Loom and the role of EDpuzzle, but I've never used a whiteboard before. How does that work exactly in terms of the video that you're creating? Is that a separate entity, or is it something that has to be in use in conjunction with Loom?
So a whiteboard is just a way of sharing information while you're recording yourself. You can use a whiteboard live or while you're recording yourself. I've seen teachers like literally hold up whiteboards. So instead of holding up a physical whiteboard or holding up maybe like a chart paper, it's just a digital whiteboard.
Okay.
So It's a tool for you to write on, or to upload questions onto, upload pictures onto. So instead of needing a physical whiteboard, it's your digital whiteboard.
So
Okay?
it's a visual for the student that's following along with the audio.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
You can also annotate on your whiteboard. So it's not, you know, it's not just like a screen that stays the same the whole time. You know, you can write on it as if it were a regular board. So annotating while you're teaching your lesson.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, there are also so many whiteboard. Like I sometimes, like, I don't remember what I'm using and I just Google digital whiteboard or online whiteboard. You'll find a million of them, but a lot of them have really basic features. And I think what's special about this one is just that you can upload images, charts that you have created, problem sets that you have created already, and then you can draw on that, which just can save a ton of time.
So, so basically, you have to use your mouse as your writing tablet, right, for the whiteboard, right?
So
unless you connect you could connect an iPad if that is an option for you.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you do have an iPad and you can just order yourself a stylus online, I find it's much easier. If not, then you can just use the trackpad on your computer. It works fine too. Do we have any other questions?
All right.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
guys.
Fun. It was a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all soon. Be in touch.
Thank you. Good night.
you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Stay safe.
Bye.